Cannibalism is not a religion. It's a personal choice, and not a very good one. Natalie Seitzman. Natalie Seitzman is a friend of mine from camp. One evening while playing Meet the Counselor, which is a game where children ask you lots of questions about your life, this quote came up from her. After hearing this, and after taking a class where I've learned about cannibalism, I feel this quote sends the wrong message. I feel as if it sends a very negative opinion about cannibalism. Now, you're all probably thinking right now, you think cannibalism is a good thing? No, I don't think eating another human being is necessarily the best. It can be seen in a different light. Let's begin with the first part. Cannibalism is not a religion. To be fair, I do agree with that. Cannibalism in itself is not its own religion. There isn't a group of people that it's like our religion is to eat people every day. That's what we do. However, you have groups such as the Aztecs who had cannibalism as part of their religion. So they partook in sacrifice all the time, and there was this idea, or this thing, that if a person was sacrificed, that person became divine. Their spirit was holy. They went to the best of the afterlife. Now the problem is, with the Aztec society, you could only get to the best afterlife if you were divine in some way. So if you were sacrificed or like died in warfare, or if you ate the body of a divine person, because you were getting their essence into you, you became divine. So they would eat those sacrificed in order to become divine themselves, so then they could go to the cooler afterlife. There's also another group in India called the Aghori. I don't quite know how to pronounce that. Someone did an interview with one of the holy men of this group, and they learned that their belief on cannibalism again had to do with if you ate a body of a divine being, then you could possibly get supernatural powers, and this step was also getting you a step closer to God. Now let's dive into parts 2 and 3 of the quote. Part 2 we'll do really quick. It's a personal choice. There were some societies that actually frowned upon cannibalism and like, you should not eat the flesh of another human being, kind of like us. So what they would do to their captives is they would actually force feed them the body parts of like their friends and be like, eat, and then they'd be like, ah, but they were force-fed people, so it wasn't a personal choice. Part 3, but not a very good one. In some cases, cannibalism is a good choice. Take the Donner Party, for example. If you don't know about the Donner Party, they were a group of folks who lived in the Midwest, and they were like, hey, let's go to California, because we hear there's gold there, and gold is pretty awesome. So they were like, alright, let's go down the Oregon Trail type deal, and they start going in their lovely covered wagons. Except they got bad directions and got lost and had to turn around a couple times, and people died, and sickness and things, and so they got caught near a lake in northern Nevada, I believe, during winter, and they had to stay there because it was cold and frozen. And they were like two groups. Some people went off to California to try and get rescued. They just stayed at the lake hoping for spring and not to die. But obviously some people were dying because they ran out of food and there was cold and such. So you have a bunch of, dead bodies, and you have some live people who are like, alright, we're gonna eat the dead people to stay alive. And that's what they did. If you have dead people who have died of an illness or something, and you're starving to death, you should eat them. Similar situation, there was a Uruguayan rugby team who were flying to Chile over the Andes Mountains. However, their plane was flying too low, and so they crashed into the side of the mountain. Boom. And they were stuck there for 72 days. In this time, obviously, some people had died in the crash. And so what happened again was these people were like, okay, in order to survive, we will eat the dead. Which is really hard because some of the dead were their relatives and it was mostly traumatizing, and you can read the book Alive or watch the movie Alive in order to find out more about this situation here. Point is, they ate people to survive again. The whole point of being a person is to reproduce and pass on your genes to, survive and continue the human population. You can't do that if you're dead. While eating people is not the best idea, if it is the only way for you to stay alive, then it's the only way for you to be able to live to pass on your genes, so it can be conceived as kind of okay. So these are my condensed thoughts on this issue. If you have any others, please contribute. Click a link below to see my friend Natalie's video because she's going to support her. Be like, let's listen to her better opinion than this person because this person's opinion sucks and I don't like you.